Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here on another Eye Care Today, and boy do we have a treat for you. Very exciting. We have Dr. Courtney McCall here, one of our newest doctors at the Eyecare family of Hazleton, Stroudsburg, Pottsville, and Nanticoke eye specialists. Don't forget, we're in 4 locations, 9 great doctors to serve all of your eye care needs. We're here on the Airport Beltway in Hazleton, in the beautiful little nook of Palo Alto in Pottsville area. Beautiful location, brand new, absolutely state-of-the-art equipment. One of our old standbys, but still a beautiful location. Wide selection of frames in Tannersville, right by the outlets, can't miss it. Beautiful location. And our newest office in Nanticoke. And I think a lot of people forget about Nanticoke, but it is in the Wyoming Valley, very easy to get to, easy accessibility. And if you're looking for a new eye care provider in the Wyoming Valley, we have lots of availability. Dr. Cindy Chernetsky, who was in practice for nearly 20 years in the mountaintop area, is now serving patients in the greater Wyoming Valley area, Mountaintop, Nanticoke, Hunlock, Chickasha, all of those fantastic areas. Not a lot of eye care there. Right there at a beautiful location in Nanticoke. Dr. Dave Evans was there for 20 years and served patients, great legacy of eye care, and we're continuing that legacy of eye care with Dr. Chernetsky and another new doctor, Dr. Allison Wylam, who is lovingly Dr. Allie in Nanticoke, local to that area, and both Dr. Chernetsky and Dr. Wylam very excited to be seeing patients there in Nanticoke. So here we are today with Dr. McCall. Dr. McCall, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, for being on the show, but really thank you for being part of the eye care family here at Hazleton, Stroudsburg, Pottsville, and Nanticoke Eye Specialists, because you know, we were just talking about your childhood, maybe,
yes.
You know, and that was just like 2 years ago.
Yep.
You know, growing up and watching this show, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I am from Carbon County, born and raised, from Summit Hill, right next to Jim Thorpe, a small little town. So I've been in the area ever since. I went to high school at Marian Catholic, go Colts and Phillies, in Tamaqua.
Yeah.
And then I went to St. Joseph's University for college in Philadelphia. The Hawk will never die.
Hawk will never die, people.
So I got my Philly experience, and then obviously Pennsylvania College of Optometry for graduate school. So
fantastic.
Here I am.
You somehow, how did you end up here as an intern? You were an intern here.
Yes. So I love the area. I never really wanted to leave the area. So I wanted to find something close to home that maybe would end up hiring me in the future. So I saw this one. It was in Hazleton. I'm super familiar with Hazleton. So I was like, okay, this sounds great. And again, obviously, I used to watch the show on TV when I was younger.
We are a highly rated healthcare show, apparently.
Big time, super popular show. So I used to watch that with my parents, and we'd always watch it because, again, they're like, oh, you want to be an optometrist? So, like, let's just watch this TV show. So it was you and Dr. Bucci, and we'd watch it all the time. And it's just, like I said, it was such a full circle moment that now here I am on the show, working for the same practice that I grew up watching on TV. So it's really neat. It's super exciting. Awesome. Yeah, it's great.
I'm getting tingles, seriously, because it's awesome. And it's part of the reason we do this show is to, you know, educate people in the community about eye care topics, but, you know, maybe to inspire, you know, new generations of eye care providers, because it is awesome. What we do is awesome. And, you know, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not, you know, just jazzed up about what we do.
Absolutely.
So, Marian, you went to Marian, fantastic school. You know, the unfortunate situation with, you know, Catholic education in the Hazleton area is we don't have a Catholic school anymore for high school. I went to Hafey, but I feel like we're cut from the same cloth, you know, going to Marian. Did you at that time in high school already have an idea of eye care?
Yes, I absolutely did.
Where did that come from?
So I had glasses from a really young age. I got them around 2nd or 3rd grade. And my eye doctor was absolutely incredible. Her name was Dr. Gallagher. I owe her
she's
so
awesome.
much.
I know
she's
her.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's
fantastic.
absolutely wonderful.
I think she's at Geisinger now.
She's at Geisinger now, and I would love to reach out to her because I never actually got to connect with her.
Yeah.
And,
That's great.
Actually show her how much she did for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I actually had to do a career project my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And I was kind of debating what to do. I thought I wanted to be a medical examiner. That's definitely not for me. I'm happy to do that. But I ended up going to the eye doctor, and she was so involved. She was like, what are you doing in school? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I have to do this career project. I don't know what I want to do. And she was like, shadow me. Why not, right? So I shadowed her. She talked about the profession. She talked about the field. She said how great it was. And my freshman year, here I am. So
wow.
it worked out. She was super encouraging, too. I owe her so much.
So did you do anything else with Eyecare then through the rest of your high school or college experience as far as shadowing or working in an Eyecare facility?
Yes, so there was actually, I obviously spent time with Dr. Gallagher.
Okay.
In college, I worked with another local doctor who now works in Philadelphia. She is from Nesquehoning. I shadowed with her for about 8 months. Again, she went to Pennsylvania College of Optometry, local girl from Nesquehoning, and she was wonderful, just super encouraging. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, fantastic. Well, who knew this was a hot Nesquehoning and Summit Hill,
right.
Carbon County was a hotbed of eye care providers, but now we're finding it out. That's fantastic. So, fast forward to optometry school.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this, but there's really only 20 some odd optometry programs. So, if you wouldn't mind just sort of reintroducing how that happens. So optometry, you go to what, and then how do you become a doctor of optometry?
Yes, so you obviously have to get your undergraduate degree. So I got that from St. Joseph's University. I majored in biology. That gets you most of the prerequisites. And then you have to do so many hours of shadowing. You then have to take your OAT, which is a little test. It's about 4 hours long. It's just basic sciences that you have to take. A little bit of physics in there because optometry is so much of physics. So we take your OAT, then you apply to schools. It's kind of like applying to college, same thing. You're doing a letter of intent, letters of recommendation, test scores, things like that. And then you apply to a bunch of schools. From that point forward, they look at your application, they look at your scores, and then you interview. So I think I interviewed to about 5 or 6 schools.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I applied. I got interviews to most of the schools I applied to, which is great. Pennsylvania College of Optometry was obviously my number one. It came down to Pennsylvania College of Optometry and NECO, New England College of Optometry. Boston, I love Boston.
Very cool.
So that was a big pool. But again, I'm a homebody. I love home. So my parents were like, why would you want to go to Boston 6+ hours away when you could be 2 hours away? And it obviously worked out because I ended up doing the accelerated program, which is a great feature that Pennsylvania College of Optometry has. So I got my doctorate in 3 years instead of 4, which was great. I
actually didn't realize that about you.
Oh,
so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that was great.
I think people should know that you can't just sign up for that. You have to be accepted into that. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy too because I didn't want to do it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I thought it would be too much, and the school reached out to me and they said, just apply.
Yeah.
See what you think. So it was a month before the program started, I got this email. I applied within a week. So this was around June 7th. And then they gave me a week to decide if I actually wanted to do the program. I decided like June 20th that I would do the program, and then by July 1st I started. So I initially thought I was going to start end of August and ended up starting 2 months earlier.
Wow.
So it was really quick. It was a whirlwind. I never planned on doing it. But when they lay out the facts about the program and everything, it's a year sooner out of school, a year sooner that you're getting paid, things like that. Financially, it made sense, and there's just so many opportunities with the program, too.
Absolutely. Wow. So local girl, Summit Hill, gets accepted to major program in graduate school, and here we are sitting with her today. Absolutely fantastic, and we can't be more grateful. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more information with Dr. McCall. Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here on another Eye Care today, and we are so excited to have Dr. Courtney McCall joining us today, one of the newest doctors at our Eye Care family, and we want to make sure that we invite you to become part of our Eye Care family. We have openings and accepting new patients at all of our locations. I think it's important to mention we take all insurances, Medicare, Medicaid, all of the commercial plans, vision plans, medical plans. We take cash pay patients or no insurance. We have programs available for you too. And really, you know, a lifetime of healthy vision starts with first comprehensive eye exam, finding out, you know, what is going on and what, you know, is behind the eye, places that you just never knew existed in your own body to tell the story of a lot of different parts of your health. And so start that today by giving one of our 4 locations a call: Hazleton, Tannersville, Pottsville, and Nanticoke. We would love to invite you to become part of our Eye Care family and start a lifetime of healthy vision with you. So here we are with Dr. McCall, and again, couldn't be more excited that she's here and part of the team. And so, you know, she was an intern here. We talked about how she got to the interest of, you know, eventually applying to optometry school, got accepted to a really prestigious program within optometry school. How many people were in that program?
We graduated with 12, so
12.
it's small.
How many students are in the whole program?
The traditional program
Yeah.
as well, that sits around 130.
So maybe 8% or something like that of the graduating class got accepted to this program and was in this program. So it's kind of a big deal that you were a part of that, and also that you're here in the Northeast Pennsylvania region, you know, providing your expertise, knowledge, and most of all, your compassion to taking care of patients. We just couldn't be more grateful for that. So, you know, through optometry school, now this is another decision, right, that you have. Where do I go? What do I do, right? So where was that decision and thought process for you? Some folks will decide to go on to do a residency. Some people will, you know, go right into practice. What were you thinking?
I definitely debated residency a little bit, but again, I feel like when I was finishing up school, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do, so that's why I didn't venture that route. Being an intern here definitely swayed me that I wanted to work here. So knowing that I had a good place to go to, I was kind of ready to jump right into working.
Yeah.
So that's how I got here. And then obviously there's so many fields that you can get into and practice with optometry and different specialties that you can do. And I was fortunate enough to do a specialty here, which is ocular disease. So I definitely love that side of optometry, but also pediatrics, which is a rotation that I did it was one of my last rotations with school. And I definitely got that love for pediatrics doing that, which actually surprised me because I did not think that was going to be what I kind of swayed to.
Yeah, so in optometry school at the last year of your time that you're there, you are doing clinical rotations. And so you're learning hands-on, doing eye care, and you were here once, and we fell in love with her. We knew we wanted her to be here, so you know that was definite. But you also were at the Eye Institute, which is in Philadelphia, a really well-known eye care facility. It's part of the Pennsylvania College of Optometry, and you were part of the pediatrics department.
Correct.
And so the pediatrics department sees only kids, and so you got to go in with your snot shield on because the kids are snotting all over you. I'm just kidding. I could say that because I have kids that snot all over me. But so you're there. What kind of things did you do there that would be different from primary eye care?
So, I mean, the exams take a little bit longer. There's a lot of patients involved. Some kids obviously sit well, but other kids too, they're going to the doctor, so they're a little bit nervous. So I think the first part of that exam is just making the child comfortable with you and knowing that you're here to help them, not to be the scary person putting drops in their eyes. So that was the first part of the exam. There's a lot of singing. There's a lot of toys that you're kind of floating around in front of them.
You kind of remind me of like a Disney princess. Like, just like, just fun and nice and approachable. And I could see you singing, a song, a Disney song.
Yeah.
We're Disney all the time. I was by myself in the car on the way here and I was listening to Disney radio.
It's just how it goes.
And singing to it. So, I get it. But that's a great persona to have.
Yeah,
right?
Baby Shark and Coco Melon are. I don't have kids yet, but I'm ready. So
Yes.
I know all the songs for the future. But yeah, so it's a lot of singing that kind of thing, holding their interest, obviously.
Yes.
But with kids especially, we worry about eye turns. We want to catch that early. So it's some what we call binocular vision testing, making sure that their eyes are working well together as a team. So we have binocular vision testing. We're checking their prescription. Obviously, you want to dilate them to get a good look at the back of the eye and make sure the eye health is doing well. But those are some of the big things. The biggest thing is obviously eye function. How are they working well together, and making sure we get the correct prescription for them.
Awesome, fantastic. And so you did that. What else did you do, rotation-wise?
I did 2 ocular disease sites. I didn't do a VA site. So 2 ocular disease, pediatrics, and then contact lens anterior segment.
Got it.
Yes.
Wonderful, fantastic. And so you liked everything. You kind of had an interest in, felt like you walked away from that with an interest in pediatrics is pretty cool. And to kind of add on to that interest in pediatrics, while you were here as a student, we kind of got a really exciting opportunity within the school system of the Wyoming Valley area. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're going up to the Wyoming Valley School District once or twice a week, and we get the really cool opportunity to work with kids kindergarten through 8th grade. And we are doing a full eye exam there. The big thing is we're not doing a vision screening, we're doing a comprehensive eye exam. So from start to finish, we were very fortunate to get equipment that we can use with the children. So we're checking eye health, front of the eye, back of the eye. We're also giving them glasses too, which is absolutely wonderful. So we're seeing a good bit of kids every single week and giving them the opportunity to see.
It's fantastic. And I think, this is something that is totally forgotten in a lot of ways. There's a lot of great tools and techniques that we have that we can evaluate children's vision, and kids don't know what they don't know, right?
Exactly, that's the biggest thing.
So I think there was some research done through this program that looked at how many kids were not getting glasses, contacts, whatever, to be able to see, that were failing their screening. Did you hear that?
Yeah, so 87%, I think it's around 87% of kids that get vision screenings actually don't end up getting the glasses that they need to see after the vision screening. So that's why we're kind of eliminating that step. We're doing the screening and then giving them the glasses right after, so that statistic will hopefully go down in our area.
It's mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah. No, it is. It's sad. It's upsetting.
Yeah. This is something that we're going to talk a little bit more about, in the next segment, because there's actually some legislation going on that both Dr. McCall and myself and the other doctors at the practice are very passionate about. We would like to ask your help, to try and get children's vision examinations something that's more regularly done in the community. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back with the final segment of our Eyecare Today with Dr. Courtney McCall. Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here on another Eyecare Today, and we're just so happy that you're joining us and so happy that we have the opportunity to educate you about all things eye care, maybe inspire you to become an eye care provider like Dr. McCall was once inspired by this show. And most of all, we want to invite you to become part of our eye care family. We are accepting new patients at all of our locations, Hazleton, on the Airport Beltway, at the Big Eyeball. I haven't said that yet, but don't forget we have the Big Eyeball out front. That lets you know it's the right office, and we're here for you. 9 doctors of optometry. We often have 3 eye care providers going in our Hazleton location, certainly our flagship office. Another really important thing that I think is important to notice or to note is that we have 24/7 eye care services. So emergency eye care services, call our line, and we will get back to you very shortly. Leave a message, let us know what's going on. Very common eye issues that certainly can be very bothersome that we can help you out with. Things like metal in the eye, things like pink eye infections, blurriness, flashing lights, floaters, spots in your vision, any of those things, give us a call, any of our locations, and we'll do our best to get back to you in a very short period of time, and oftentimes take care of the problem for you. So we're here for you. This is what we do, and there's nothing better than helping somebody out in a time of need. So Remember that. So here we are. Dr. McCall is here with us, one of the newest doctors at Hazleton, Stroudsburg, Pottsville, and Nanticoke Eyecare. And we just couldn't be more grateful that you became part of the team, part of our family. And we're just talking about children's vision. And so there's actually a bill in the Senate, which is really appropriate because we actually have Senator Argall, who is a local senator, currently the chair of the Education Committee in the state of Pennsylvania. And so we're going to put his information here on the screen. We're going to ask you to give him a call and let him know how important children's vision is to you. And what we're asking to do is to have this bill, this legislation, which would ultimately make it mandatory, or I think a better word is standard, to have a comprehensive eye exam for all children entering a couple time points throughout school, but kindergarten, to be one. And a lot of times I think, folks take it for granted that children are getting eye exams prior to school, but oftentimes they're not. Whether it's the pediatrician, whether it's, the school screening at the nurse, sometimes they're not. And so this would be a service to help, people in need. And so you've been now doing this service at, these schools in the Wyoming area. So they're doing a screening. If they fail the screening, then you do the eye exam in the school. So we don't have that extra step of parents having to take them to the eye doctor. So it helps, get them the needed care that they need to be able to learn. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot, actually. And another interesting fact that I just want to kind of piggyback off of that is actually 1/3 of students or children that undergo vision screenings are actually being missed. So they could actually need glasses or some kind of extra help from us that they're not getting. So that's why vision exams are going to cover everything. So it's super important to get them. But I've actually seen a good bit since being in practice for a couple months now. I actually had one girl who came in and she said she repeated, I think 5th or 6th grade, like 2 or 3 times already. And she was like, I don't know why I'm working really hard. And she came in and she was like a -3. She just couldn't see the board. So we got glasses on her. I did have her.
-3, you wouldn't be able to see beyond here.
Right.
Anything beyond there is going to be blurry.
Right, a very high prescription, especially for somebody her age. Yeah. So I did follow up with her a couple months afterwards because it is good to check, especially for somebody her age, just to see how she's doing a couple months down the line. And she said school got so much easier because now she could see the board and it made such a difference in her academic performance. So a lot of times kids come in and their chief complaint or their main reason why they're here is they're just here to get the eye exam, but they don't have any visual complaints. And it's that same thing, no visual complaints, everything's great, I'm just here because my mom brought me. And then they end up needing glasses. Their vision should be 20/20, that's our goal, and they're seeing 20/80. So they don't even know what they can't see, and they don't even know that there's a problem. And a lot of times parents feel bad because they're like, how did I possibly miss this? But the kids just don't know any better, and a lot of the times they're not showing any symptoms, so parents don't even have an inkling why they should be bringing them in.
And there's so much going on in the world today, when it comes to, how children are doing and how their vision is, and with the pandemic and being online and being virtual, and everything's closer to us now. So we often thought about distance vision. Now we have to think more about near vision. And
right.
When you go to the pediatrician or when you do a vision screening, typically what they check is both eyes together looking at a chart across the room. And that totally takes for granted near vision, right?
Absolutely.
And each eye individually. And so have you seen any examples of where that is something you were able to pick up on?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the times, like you just said, with both eyes working together, one eye could be overcompensating for the other eye. So one eye isn't getting as much stimulation from the brain as it should be getting. So that's definitely one instance. I actually had a 5-year-old maybe 3 months ago that came in. His vision was 20/30. That would pass a vision screening test. But his parents brought him in anyway just to get checked. He had a pretty good prescription, but he was still 20/30, even with correction, which isn't uncommon. Maybe he just had to adjust to the glasses. But we did a dilated eye exam, and when we did the dilated eye exam, his retina was actually detached in one of his eyes. Wow. He was only 5 years old. So he would have passed a vision screening. The school would have said he is good to go. He needed glasses, and he ended up having to get his retina repaired. So it's those findings like that that make it so crucial and so important.
When you think about learning, what is more crucial than vision,
Right.
right? For our children. And so, certainly, when it comes to legislative things, we're not getting political. This is a political situation here. But when it comes to political issues, oftentimes, as we all know, it takes, a lot of work to get things done. And unfortunately, the political machine in the world moves very slow. And so, that's why we are working really hard to, let everybody know what we see and what we experience. And unfortunately, children's voices are not loud enough to let the world know how important this is. And parents don't know either. And so, this is so important. And so that's why we're asking you, we have the information right here for Senator Argall's office to let him know that this bill, which the bill number is right there as well, is very important to you and to our children. And, we believe in standardizing eye exams for children prior to entering school. Just a little piece of knowledge, dental exams are mandatory, prior to entering school, but vision examinations, we're measuring distance vision, near vision, one eye at a time, eye health, the way the eyes work together as a team, which are all very important parts of an eye exam, are not part of a vision screening. So thank you for helping us with that. Dr. McCall, you are here. Where else are you? You're in Hazleton. Where else are you?
I'm at Pottsville as well. So
you're in Pottsville,
yes.
Serving the skook.
The skook.
Yeah.
Love the skook.
And so you're there all day Thursday, all day Friday.
Yep.
You're here the rest of the time, and you're also seeing kids
Yep.
in schools in the Wyoming Valley area. So. Ultimately, you're going to see her in the community, you're going to see her in the office, and, we can't wait to invite you to be part of our Eyecare family and hopefully to see Dr. McCall at your next eye exam for you and your entire family. Thanks again for being on another Eyecare Today.